Okay. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. So I'm here with Ivana Piranha, who
Yeah,
I met a few years ago at Atlanta Pride when she was just a baby drag queen, I think then,
just a
and
baby.
now she's steadily performing at Lips in Atlanta. Is there more than one location? Do you want to tell them where they can find you?
Yeah, so I work at a place called Lips in Atlanta. We have 5 locations currently. We're in Fort Lauderdale, Atlanta, San Diego, Chicago, and New York City. Um,
Wow.
and right now we're only open certain days of the week because of coronavirus, but we're working on expanding and opening fully back up eventually.
Everybody's been affected by that corona, especially people
Right,
who work at anything performative or like food related, I feel. And Lips is both of those things.
right, absolutely.
So, well, that's awesome. And also, I'll link her Instagram down below. Is that the best place, or do you prefer
Yeah,
Twitter?
Instagram. Yeah, just Instagram at Ivana Piranha. And eventually I do actually probably this year. I've been wanting to start a YouTube channel myself.
Oh, you
Where I
should.
make up videos or just drag related videos or makeovers on other people. Um,
Yeah. Well, when you get
yeah,
to that point, let me know and we can do a collab or something. I would
okay.
love that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Um, so specifically today, what we're going to talk about, obviously, Ivana is a drag queen. I'm super into drag queens. Actually, that's how we bonded at Pride. We were both trying to find the tent where Trixie Mattel was, and we did. So
Yeah.
it was successful. Um, so we're going to talk a little bit today about how drag can be an instrument of self-care and positive mental health. But first, we're just going to get started. Ivana's going to tell us a little bit about herself and her backstory about how she got into drag and things like that. So, do you want to give the children a little bit of background?
Yeah, so we met, I believe it was 2016,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, it was a
So
long time ago.
yeah, I was definitely a baby. That was the first year I had started doing drag. I think when we met, I'd only been doing drag for about like 4 or 5 months.
I'm going to try to
Um,
find the pictures. I have one picture of us together. I'm going to try to find it, and if I can, I'll post it in this video.
yeah, okay. Just throw it in here somewhere. I
Yeah,
looked a mess. I was a mess back then. I
girl,
mean, I'm
me
still a
too.
mess, but
I think you look
you
great.
know,
Very
thank
elevated.
you. Thank you. Definitely elevated from what I was back then. But yeah, so I've been doing drag for a little bit over 4 years now in the Atlanta area. Um,
What made you get into drag for the first time? Like that first time that you decided to dress up and perform. Like, what was that journey like? Like, how did that come about?
So I got into drag because I was in art class one day in high school, and
Hmm.
my friend Mary showed me the first ever drag queen I ever saw. I was in
Who
ninth
was it?
grade, and it was Willem from RuPaul's Drag
Oh
Race.
my God, yes, that's
It
so
was
fabulous.
Willem, and it was I think it was like during that car wash challenge or something where she was like squeezing
Yeah.
soap all over her breastplate, and I was just like, that looks
Yes.
like fun. Which I mean, I don't know. I guess I've always just been sort of a drag queen in a way. I mean, when I was like 3 and 4 years old, I was painting my nails and putting on my grandma's high heels and running around the house and just not really thinking anything of it.
It just was what felt
Um,
natural to you.
right. So started called the Alley Cat. So
Oh,
I
what
just
a
kind of
throwback.
do I.
I said, what a throwback.
All right. I would love to go back there one day and do like a little homecoming
Yeah,
reunion show or something.
you
Um,
should.
yeah, I just started hanging out with them, and then we became friends through another friend, um, and just started
Dinky
doing drag
D.
together. Do
Was
I?
that one of the Dinky D? Was that one of the people? Because I remember meeting her at
Oh yeah. So
Pride
she came
too.
in. Let me see. I think I'm trying to remember. Gosh, it's been
I
a long
know it's
4 years.
girl.
Um,
I know.
a lot has changed. So it wasn't originally her. It was me and drag queen named Lunacy and Mavis Gary, and they're
Very
still out
cool.
here in the area doing their own thing. And then Dinky did come in a little bit later, and we were all doing shows there together.
Do
But
you
yeah, and that was me and her at Pride.
cool? Do you feel like having like a group of people around you that were all interested in, I'm sure in Carrollton, Georgia, I can't imagine the drag scene is super prevalent, but do you feel like having a group of people that shared that interest, like made it easier for you to stick with it and keep doing it and really develop to the point that you're at now?
Oh, definitely. And I was just super grateful that there's actually a place that was allowing drag shows to happen in
Mhm.
Carrollton, Georgia, where, it's
Right.
really just, it's like redneck or hick town or whatever people say.
Carrollton, Georgia is not like Atlanta, Georgia.
It's a college town, but they're not really open to all of this.
Right.
um,
And they're missing out. That's all I have to say.
right. So it was really cool that, really grateful that they had a place that I started at. And I'm really grateful I'm not sure if she's still doing drag currently. She's basically an Atlanta legend. Her name is Heather Daniels. She gave me my
I've heard
start
the
there.
name.
Right. She used to work with
Wow.
Charlie Brown and like Raven at Backstreet in Atlanta back in the day. Um,
Wow.
I could have been around then, but I was still like a sperm.
Oh yeah.
uh,
Right. A little embryo of a drag queen, like not ready
right.
for that level.
Right. But yeah, it was definitely cool. It definitely made it easier to know people that also were interested in drag. It's just a different
Like a
form of expression.
camaraderie.
Right.
Mhm.
And basically something to bond over, something to make friends over, something like
Mhm.
easily relatable to other people that have the same interest.
So do you feel like drag, like what do you, I know drag means different things to different people who do it. Like for some people it starts off as drag and then they end up discovering that they should be transitioning. For some people, they feel that they're gender fluid and they like the performative aspect of expressing that. For some people, it is more emphasis on just purely the performative part and like just kind of queering gender norms. Like, what do you think is the most appealing part of it for you? Like, what speaks to you the most about it? Like, what about it makes you choose to do that over other forms of art and expression?
So also sorry if you chickens in the background. I still live in the middle of nowhere today. Um,
Hey, you know, Miss Fame's a chicken queen, so you're in
right.
good
Well,
company.
I'm the next chicken queen, I guess. um, so like growing up, I guess I was bullied a lot, especially in middle school, very early high school years. It really was the worst. Um, Especially like the first year of middle school, very rough.
Mhm. Mhm.
Um, but so I didn't have a lot of self-confidence in myself or like the way I looked or the way I acted or talked or my voice or anything.
Mhm.
So drag was basically a way for me to create someone that I wanted to be, but that I wasn't normally, which is still true in a sense. Now I've never thought that I was like, I've never like felt
Felt like you
that I was
were a woman.
transgender. Right.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it all comes off, and then I go back to being Austin instead of Ivana. However, at the same time, like, you can call me girl, you can call me boy, he, she, I don't care. It's like it
Yeah.
doesn't matter. It doesn't matter to me. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, so drag was definitely just a way to become like the version of myself that I wanted to be when I didn't have the
Yeah.
self confidence that I had.
It's kind of like the embodiment of all the empowerment and confidence you wanted to have.
Right. And I always like, when I was growing up, I know one specific example. I don't know if you've seen it. It's the Batman Returns movie with Catwoman and the Penguin.
Yes.
Michelle
Michelle
Pfeiffer.
Pfeiffer in that latex
Right.
bodysuit.
Okay.
What a
So
fantasy.
when I was growing up, I had it on VHS and I would just watch it over and over. And I was obsessed with Michelle Pfeiffer's Catwoman. And I was just like, I want to be her. I just want to be her one day.
Hmm. I had a similar experience, but for me, it was Poison Ivy. Uma Thurman as Poison
Yeah.
Ivy, like in that green, like corset and the red hair. And I feel like she's overly vilified unfairly because all she wanted to do was, take better care of the planet,
Right.
but whatever. It's fine. I'm not still salty about it. that wound will heal with time, I guess. So, something we talk a lot about on my channel is self-care and mental health. How do you feel? I mean, I know you said that it's helped you build confidence and sort of like find that inner source of confidence in yourself. But how else do you feel like drag has either helped you specifically with your mental health or like maybe has helped others?
Well, I think a way that, well, and even in drag, haven't always been confident
Mm-hmm.
as Ivana. Even up until the last year, I didn't really gain that confidence until I started basically doing it full time as a career. Because I used to think like, I used to have this effed up, I don't know if I can say the F word on here.
You can't. Oh, yeah, I mean, I don't know either. I'm not monetized yet, so you say
Oh, okay.
whatever you
Well, I
want.
won't. Well, I used to have this sort of messed up sense of mind about drag where it was like, oh, well, if I'm not doing death drops and if I'm not doing splits, then I'm not really doing it. I have to do that to be entertaining. But then I've kind of learned to be like, okay, no, I don't have to do that to be like a good drag queen per se. You know
No,
what I mean?
I think you're sickening. And there's all different kinds of drag queens that I feel like that's like a trap that a lot of people fall into when it comes to drag because like on RuPaul's Drag Race, which is the most biggest platform for drag,
Right.
they want you to be super well-rounded. You have to be good at everything. But I feel like in the real drag world, you're just good at what you're good at, and that's what people love you for. You
Right.
know, like
So it was basically like over, I guess, the last year, I've sort of found my own lane. Not
good.
to say that I don't like to like, swerve over into other lanes sometimes. But I've sort of found my own lane and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna do what I do and just do that well and not try to be what I'm not. Because maybe I can't dance, okay. Probably
Me
never will be
either.
able to.
You're like, that's not
um,
my gig. You're like,
right. But I've learned it's like, well, I can go here and I can still look good and do like maybe a ballad or just like a little two-step. Um,
yeah.
Also with drag, especially like in the whole confidence and like, I just find that drag helps with socializing, makes it
Mm.
easier. Definitely can like make you more friends in a sense. I mean, that's how we met. I was in drag.
Yeah, exactly. Our eyes locked from across the lawn in Piedmont Park because I think
Right.
I
And
had on like this horrible purple wig, and I think did you have on a yellow wig?
oh yeah, it was bad. It
And
was rough.
we were like, oh my god, another person dressed in ratchet drag, and we just gravitated to each other, and that's all it took.
Yeah, I remember that was like the first and only year I've ever came to Pride and Drag. I was like, I'm never doing this again. Why did I do
Yeah,
this?
same. I was hot. Because I was fortunate that year. I just happened to know the right people, and I got to walk in the parade. But I wore jelly heels. My feet were so blistered, and I was so hot in that wig. Like, and I know that's nothing. There are drag queens that do all that every day, and they're doing the Lord's work. Let me tell you, because that was not a great time.
Right. Oh, I know. I'm so glad the weather is cooling down finally because this is honestly
Sure.
doing this is so miserable during the summer.
Oh yes, I'm sure. It's like it's crazy because in as a drag performer, I feel like you can look like you're scantily clad, but you're still wearing like 8 layers of stuff to change
Oh,
your
right.
body shape and like the nude illusion and the hair.
Right. Because I know I've heard, I don't remember who it was. It's probably multiple drag queens have said like onions. There's just layers and layers and layers.
Yeah.
Um, no, it's drag is definitely, oh, what's the word? It's like an act of pleasure, I guess. I
Yes.
can't think of the word right now.
It's like
It's
a
the Lord
labor of
word.
love.
Right, the labor of
Yeah.
love. That's what I was thinking of. Yeah.
Yes.
When you
Yes.
put on like 6 pairs of pantyhose, a waist cincher, pads, a dress, jewelry, hair, it can get a little, you have to look like you're happy and friendly and not pouring sweat and like on the verge of breaking down mentally.
Right. And I feel like that um obviously drag is an exaggerated version of what femininity is supposed to be, and I feel like that really speaks to the unfair expectations that are put on women. Like, obviously we don't have to do it to the same degree because we're not doing it in a performative way, but I think, you know, the level of discomfort is heightened because it's a heightened version of what women have to deal with every day.
Right.
Stupid bras.
Which, amen for y'all.
Sweaty titties all the time.
Could not do it.
So what do you feel like is, because I think there's a real, I watch drag. Something that I get out of watching drag is it's really an escape for me, and it's something that can be so enthralling and so distracting to a point, especially in these troubled times. You can really forget about the things that are stressing you out. Like, I really like comedy queens, but I also just like watching, like, look queens get ready, do their makeup. Like, I like it all. I think that it all offers a sense of escape because it's a heightened reality, and it's supposed to be like this caricature of all the best stuff, you know?
Yeah.
So the best and the worst. So do you feel like that is like a way that drag can really help people who are just in the audience cope with what's going on, and a form of self-care for the audience?
Oh yeah, actually, I've never really thought about it like that, but no, you're right. It's really, I guess it's a form of, like, honestly, self-care for the performer and the audience, both. Because it, like you said, it allows them to kind of forget about what they're going through and just kind of escape to this world where everything's just so glamorous and over the top.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, so I won't mention her name, but I have a coworker who's going through a lot right now with one of her parents.
Oh, so sorry.
But her other parent came to our show last night, and I was just happy to see him come to our show and kind of forget about some of the troubles that he's going through, at least, just even if it's for a couple of hours, just kind of forget about it and like decompress and unwind and relax and have a good time, even though he's going through a lot right now.
Yeah. Some of my favorite YouTube videos to watch when I'm stressed are like Trixie and Katya.
Oh yeah,
and like yeah, and stuff like that, like, or Violet Chachki do her makeup. Like, it's just for like watching a queen like who's really good at makeup do makeup. It's so like intensive and precise. You can't think about anything else. And when you're watching like a comedy queen do their thing, it's just there's so much levity. It just elevates your mood. Like, and I feel personally that getting into being a fan of drag, it's like taught me so much about makeup and stuff that has ultimately made me feel better. Like, stuff I implement into my everyday life, and learning how to be honest but in a funny way so you can kind of get away with it and still express yourself. Like, I owe my ability to do all that to drag queens that I've watched. So I definitely think that what you do is self-care for others, maybe as much as it's self-care for you guys as an outlet.
And also, I think it's important when you're a performer, a drag queen, a drag king, just an artist in general, it's important to decompress yourself, especially when you do this full time. I know on like my days off, I just like to just take this off, throw it away, not even look at it, not think about it. You know, just listen to music, chill, read,
like cotton
watch
t-shirt, sweatpants.
Right. Especially like, I know it's like, I wear elastic waistband shorts and just loose tie-dye t-shirts everywhere because I'm like, baby,
loose tie-dye t-shirts.
Right. It's like, listen, I have to be glamorous, 4 or 5 days out of the week. When I don't have to do it, I'm not doing it.
Right. It's like, as much as performing as an outlet that is a type of self-care, like being able to turn it off and decompress and be your own person in a quiet space is self-care too. And you have to have that balance to be able to go back out there the next day and perform and be just as fierce and sickening and all that stuff.
Right. Absolutely. And it's not like, this isn't turned on 24/7. That
would be exhausting.
Like even as Austin, I'll just like sort of relax and find some sort of like, I don't know if I would call it. I mean, I guess it would just be enjoyment. I watch like Violet Chachki or just the Wow Presents videos. It's like I watch drag even when I'm not in drag. You know, it's just like a way of relaxing and just entertainment.
Yeah, you're a fan as much as you are a performer. I feel like
Right.
that's true for a lot of drag queens.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot
It
of
would be
drag.
hard to do drag if you didn't love it. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I feel like a lot of us, that's what we do in our free time. Is just we're looking at everybody else and just seeing how fabulous or just the cool things that they're doing. Um,
Yeah. So, who, if you had to pick your top three favorite drag queens, who would you
oh
choose?
God.
Well, we'll
Oh
say this. Well,
Lord.
let's do three favorite RuPaul's drag queens just to narrow it down so you don't feel pressured to pick your friends or
Okay.
anything, or no one gets mad at you.
I do have one, but she wasn't on RuPaul's Drag Race and she's
Okay.
not alive anymore. But definitely Divine.
Oh,
Divine
Divine.
Divine would definitely be. That's actually one of my favorite movies of all time. Was the John Waters Female Trouble. I love it.
Yeah, yeah. That's amazing.
And
That's
I
a
know
good one.
even though she's sort of like a filthy, explicit queen, I still find some sort of inspiration through her somehow.
Well, I feel like that it was a direct response to the time she was living in. Like
Right,
that was a like as fiercely as the oppression of women and queer people was then, she was just as fiercely like, oh, you think I'm disgusting, I'll show you disgusting, and she pushed back just as hard. You know
right.
what I mean?
I
And I
love
do
that.
I respect something about that.
Absolutely, yeah. I love that. Just like in your face, especially back then. I mean, I think that movie came out. I want to say it was either. I think it was 1969. That
I
movie
think it
came out,
was.
and just
Wow.
somebody doing that back then, especially, was just sort of wild. I guess, just crazy.
Yeah. Very ballsy. No pun intended.
But so top three favorite RuPaul's Drag Race girls.
Yes.
Oh Lord.
Just because that's people all the viewers will know. And
Oh Lord. So many now. There's like, God, what is there? Almost
I know.
200 now.
I
Um,
know. It's a hard choice.
I mean, definitely Trixie Mattel. Definitely her. She's definitely one of them. Um, I really do like Violet Chachki as well. I'm sure y'all know she's from Atlanta. She actually used to work at Lips.
I didn't know she used to work at Lips, but I did know she was
Yeah.
from Atlanta. I think she's great too. And people talk about how she's a bitch, but I've never seen her be a bitch. I mean, in a competition setting, maybe, but like she's also a drag queen, and I don't know when it became mandatory that drag queens be like the nicest people on the planet. Like it's great when they are, but that's not really ever been a
Right.
requirement.
Right. That's something else I sort of feel like I'm definitely a nice person and
You
very
are
caring,
very friendly.
sympathetic and stuff. But at the same time, like I don't think that drag queens have to be role models 24/7, um, or that we're here to like always set an example for how something should
And
be.
I think people also feel there's certain groups of famous people that I feel people feel very entitled to their time. Like there's top tier famous people and people don't dare demand their time, but like fans of drag queens, YouTubers, and porn stars, I feel like their fans feel like they're owed their time for some reason. Not always at it with an exchange of money. Like they just, it's that level of fame where people think you should be more grateful for it for some reason, and they think they should have unlimited access to you, and that's just not realistic. Like that, you can't demand that of any person.
Right. Which I'm living my best life right now, the life of my dreams.
I'm so
Um,
glad. You deserve it.
Thank you. I know, especially I'm only 23 and I got hired at Lips when I was 22. But before that, I was working fast food full time, like 50 hours a week.
Soul sucking job.
I Right. I used to work at a little chicken joint, a little fast food restaurant. So I was the GM.
Being a GM is good, honest work and a good paying job, and nothing to be ashamed of. I
Right.
mean, you know,
Right.
but this is
Oh
like
no.
this is the life of your dreams.
Right. So no, I don't like. I didn't like the work itself.
Hmm.
Working, I mean, obviously, you deal with crappy customers. It's fast food. It's exactly what you think it is for the most part.
Yeah,
Um, I really did like all my coworkers. I just hated the work that I was doing.
I can
But
relate to that deeply.
you're right. But it's just like I'm doing what I love now, and I get to do it full time, and it's great. I'm just very grateful that I was hired at Lips.
That's all any of us can hope for in life, is to be able to be doing what we love to support ourselves so that
Yeah,
we don't ever have to be miserable just
absolutely
to
no.
pay our bills.
Absolutely no. I think that's like one of the best things in life is when you can do what you want and make a living out
Hmm.
of it.
I absolutely agree.
My third favorite, because you
Oh,
asked me,
we almost forgot number three. I'm
don't
sorry.
forget about
Who was it?
okay, so I love Bianca Del Rio.
Oh my God. She's
Love her.
hilarious. That's somebody who's not afraid to be a bitch. That is a good example of a good drag queen who is not
Right.
tripping over herself to make friends.
No, I just love that. I've always loved insult comedy. Like
I
hers.
know. Oh,
Um,
we should take a minute to talk about the tragedy that struck earlier this year when Chi Chi DeVane passed.
oh no, 2020 seems like it has been the worst year for just the drag or LGBT community. Uh,
Yes.
one of the worst. I mean, we've lost Chi Chi DeVane, Lady Recateur.
Oh, Lady
Um,
Red. Oh, I
in
forgot. How
in
could I?
Atlanta, we've lost, and I love her so much. I miss her so much. Regina Sims. She
Oh,
was the host of a show I did at Friends on Ponce that really helped me also get started, and I won their pageant that they had there back in
oh wow.
2018. um, Regina Sims. We've had Atlanta. Sharon Needles passed away as well.
Sharon Needles passed
Uh,
away? Oh, a different
not
Sharon
from
Needles.
right, not from Drag Race, but from the. She
Okay.
was an Atlanta drag queen, Atlanta drag legend. And we've
Oh,
also
that's so
lost.
awful.
We've lost Sandy Springs, and then there's just countless others that I've seen on Facebook that we've lost. That I mean, they're not on Drag Race, but there's still
Well,
people
that
that
doesn't.
still drag
That you're right.
queen.
It's just as tragic.
Right.
That's horrible.
It just seems like every time we look, another gay person or queer person or drag queen or drag king is passing away this year, and it's just sad.
You know, I think that whenever there's any kind of strain on a country or a community, it's always the people that are a little less privileged that are affected the most. So, like, we know statistically that COVID has it disproportionately affected people of color, but I also feel like it's affected the LGBT community because, you know, access to healthcare, or just having to work even when it would be safer to stay home, or just the mental health care side of things. Like, if you're already
Um,
struggling, I'm not saying that all LGBT people have mental health issues. That's not what I mean.
right.
I just mean with the way that society already treats LGBT people, if you add to that isolation and disease, that's not going to be a good combination.
Absolutely.
So I think
Definitely.
that's very tragic. And I think that's why self-care and community are more important than ever. And it's important to check on your friends and be there for one another and make sure that you're taking care of yourself so you have the steam to do that, because that's the only way we can get through any of this is with each other.
No, absolutely. Yeah. And that, I keep sorry, like you said, now it's more important than ever. Um, check on your friends, call someone you love, tell them you love them every once in a while, because you never know. I know this sounds cliche, but you never know when it's going to be the last time that you talk to them.
I mean, I guess some people might think that sounds cliche, but I think it's only cliche if it wasn't genuine, but that I believe that that's true, and if you that I know that when I feel down, just having someone think of me and reach out to me is enough to make me feel better. And I don't feel like it takes a lot of effort to just send someone a kind message or be kind to
Yeah.
people you interact with on a daily life. Like
Yeah.
people who are working in the public during these COVID times, like they're already having to wear masks that they're sweating through and they're hot and they're uncomfortable. And I'm sure they've gotten berated by customers who don't believe they should have to wear masks. And, it's that's a fabulous mask. Do you still do the bottom half of your makeup when you have to wear it? Yeah.
Because we wear the clear face shields during
Oh,
ours.
okay.
We swap these for the face shields.
So you can see the full beat.
Yeah, and then by that point, our lipstick is smeared all over our chin, and like the full beard's just coming through. So.
Oh gosh. Yeah, it's a struggle.
But no, yeah, I definitely think it's important for everybody just to like lead from a place of love, especially during these times, and especially to people, nurses, doctors, fast food workers, servers, waitresses, waiters, just anybody, especially people who are working, especially the people who have worked all the way through this, never got any unemployment. They've been working from beginning to end all the way through this without.
They deserve nothing but kindness.
Exactly. And tip your servers.
Tip your servers. How are people in 2020 not doing that? I don't understand.
I have no idea. We have people that come to lips and still they don't. Sometimes we have people that won't tip.
You've got to tip. Like if tipping is, you got to factor that into your eating out expense. And if you can't afford to tip, then maybe go somewhere that tipping's not required. I understand what it's like to be on a budget, but when I can't afford to tip, I don't go out to that kind of restaurant. And tip on your to-go orders, even if it doesn't have to be like a full 20, 25%, but 10 to 15 on to-go orders, people. Tip them too, and tip your delivery drivers. Because they're out in the trenches, going to people's doors during these end times.
Yeah.
Give them some money. Like, don't be cheap.
Exactly. And I'm definitely a person who believes in karma and putting good things out there, but not telling people that you're doing them. Doing good deeds, but not being like, oh, I did this the other day, so I'm a good person. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Not accidentally using it as like an ATM for good karma.
Right. You do good things because you're a good person and it's the right thing to do, not because you want to brag to people about how good you are. You know what I mean?
Yes. You got to do good things because of your own integrity, not because you want anything in return, because you will often be disappointed, for one, and for two, it just kind of takes away from it a little bit if you're doing it to get praise.
Right.
Well, thank you so much. This was a lovely interview, and I'm sorry I look so busted. You look so wonderful.
Don't worry, I'm going to wipe it all away.
In a mere moment.
Right. No, God, I got up at 7 o'clock this morning to put this on for brunch, and now it's been almost.
You're doing the Lord's work.
So this is about to get wiped off.
I would love to get together in person when things are a little bit safer and we can coordinate travel a little better, or maybe you could come up here sometime, you could stay with me or whatever, and I would love to do like something where maybe you do my makeup or something and we can do this again. I think that would be really fun. And then when you get your channel going, I would love to collaborate with you.
Yeah, absolutely. No, that'd be awesome. Or maybe we can do like a part 2 one day to this video. And
I would love that.
If people have questions about anything drag or how drag relates to, self-care.
Anything.
Exactly. They can just leave it in the comments and we can like follow up on it.
Yeah, if you have any questions, comment below and I'll leave the link to her Instagram in the description also. So please follow her and give her a like. And also, of course, subscribe to this channel and like this video and share it and all that good stuff. And if anybody has any questions or anything, just feel free to comment. And thanks, Ivana, for coming.
Thank you.
It was a pleasure. And just everybody remember to be considerate of others and be considerate of yourself.